p.m. We'll start the meeting. Unfortunately, today, due to our jam-packed program, we will not be sharing or playing the technical briefing video. And some of the items, I assume all of you now have got a program, but if you do not have one, you can raise your hand. I'm sure our Madam PR should be able to send it to you privately. Let me start with introductions briefly. I am Sibongiseni Mgolozeli and currently the president of this club, Visionary Readers Toastmasters Club. We are a fairly new club with just over a year old. We fall now into the new district called District 179 under Area A2. And surprise, surprise, as you can see in the program, we are now on our meeting number 30. So we've been around for some time, for over, these past couple of months, over a year. We are grateful. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, we are all about promoting the culture of reading. We believe that reading any kind of material, book specifically, which the title or the name of our club gives it all, we believe that it is a basic foundation for all different aspects in your life. So now that the Toastmasters specialize with public speaking, communication, and leadership, we believe that there are those books that are tailor-made or written specifically for those subjects. So if you want to upscale your skills in those different aspects, we highly encourage you to start reading those books that are speaking to these particular subjects. Then you come into Toastmasters and practice what you have learned through those books. By now, you'd have the theory and the right tools. And then now when you come into a Toastmasters club, you practice by doing with so much fun, a very warm and welcoming environment. We're all about smiling, we're all about learning while we move forward. That's how fun Toastmasters is. As most Toastmasters would say, if it's not fun, then it's not Toastmasters. That is the welcoming word from me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for joining. We'll move swiftly along with the program. To my knowledge, there are no changes so far in the program. And now, also as the Toastmaster of the day, I will be facilitating those prepared speeches as well as the evaluation sessions. But at this point, I will move to item number 4, which is immediately after the Toastmaster of the day giving the briefing. Now it's time for the general evaluator to come into the virtual stage and tell us what her role as the GE entails. We have Madam GE or Madam PR, Anna Costa. The stage is yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear and see me?
Yes, and yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and welcomed visitors. It's an honor to be here this evening and to welcome you all. The role of general evaluator is one that evaluates all the roles that do not have a formal evaluation. Over and above that, I'll also be looking at this evening's proceedings, how we stick to time and allotment of the program, for example. But fortunately, the general evaluator does not ride by herself. She's not the Lone Ranger. Riding with me is an awesome team of 4 members. By my side, we're going to be dealing with a vibrant grammarian this evening called Barbara Giros. Our counter is the illustrious Anna Mvubu. Table topics is by our inspirational Sibongile Michwene, and our timekeeper, last but not least, is our charismatic Nompumelelo Manzini. I'm going to call each one individually, and I invite them to the lectern to introduce their roles, and then for the timekeeping safeguarding, I'd like each one to introduce the next one in the sequence I've just named. So thank you so much, and over to you, Madam Grammarian.
Good evening. Can I confirm if ever you can hear me, Mr. Toastmaster?
Yes, Anna, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to apologize for not putting on my video. I'm currently driving. I'm in Limpopo, and hopefully the network will do me good. So let me introduce myself as Anam Bubu, who's going to play a role of grammarian tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to
Okay,
all the speakers.
apologies, Anna, can I stop you for a second? Maybe this will help you a lot. There has been like final changes. I thought you saw the final program. Apologies for this. So you'll be only playing the accountant role this evening, if that's fine with you. We have Barbara, who is going to be
All
our
right.
grammarian this evening. So if Barbara, you are ready on your side, please take on the stage, and then Anna will follow swiftly after you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'll be the grammarian for today. I'll be checking the very interesting phrases as well as the use of the English language. There's a lot of figure of speech. If you don't use it today, I encourage you to Google. There are metaphors, there are different things how we can express and make our speech interesting. It's also my duty to give you the word of today, which is impressions. I just quickly want to open my screen here. Impressions, it's quite interesting word for me. As I was thinking, it's quite easy to use. The one explanation of impression is the idea, a feeling, opinion about something. So something that gives impression to you. It also be you want to imitate something or someone. Example how to use it. His first impression of Manchester were very positive. You can also, his first impression on the first time on the job were excellent. That's all from me as a grammarian. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Madam Accountant, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I even got to a filling station. Greetings once more. So my responsibility for tonight is I'm going to count the filler word, and I would like to really encourage that we at least pause instead of using really. So if need be, so that we can be professional. Thank you so much.
Next up is our table topics. Sibongile Michweni. Over to you, madam.
Good evening, Toastmasters. My name is Sibongile Mtsweni, and I'll be your Table Topics Master for the evening. Table Topics is a session where we speak impromptu, and I would encourage all participants to please use the word of the day. See you when my session starts. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Madam Table Topics. And now for our charismatic Nompumelelo, our timekeeper.
Seems like Nompumelelo is not here yet. Let me try and explain that role in the meantime. Hopefully I'll be able to do it swiftly with my background and all of that. So basically the role of the timekeeper is to time every speaker. Everyone will be taking a major role during the meeting. So we have prepared speakers in the meeting, and then there's 4 of them. Then we'll have 4 evaluators, obviously. Then we will have also, as we have just noted, we'll also have table topics. For the table topics, they are also timed for 2 to 3 minutes. Now, in terms of the times, unfortunately, it seems like I don't have all those different. Oh, fortunately, I do. So let me do that quickly as I can. So, for instance, when I start with the speakers, I see the first one are given, the first two speakers, they are given 5 to 7 minutes. So when the speaker reaches a point of 5 minutes during their speech, the background of the timekeeper will change to green. When they reach 6 minutes, it will change to amber. And then when they reach the time of 7 minutes point, then the background will change to red. That means they have only 30 seconds of leeway to wrap up their speech. Then the other two speakers who are on their level 5, they are given 8 to 10 minutes. That means at 8 minutes, the timekeeper will change his or her background to green. At 9 minutes, it will change to amber, and then at 10 minutes, it will change to red. Then for the evaluators, all of them usually they are given 2 to 3 minutes. Perhaps in this case, they can be allowed, especially for those ones who are evaluating the level 5 speeches. For them, the evaluators 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, the background will change to green. At 3 minutes, at 2.5 minutes, it will change to amber. And then at 3 minutes, it will change to red. That means, to explain, it will still change after 3 minutes, but then for those ones who are evaluating the level 5 speakers, you can maybe have an extra minute if you still have more notes to put together or to share with the person you're evaluating. Then last but not least, fellow Toastmasters who also have table topics. They are all given 1 to 2 minutes. So whether you're a guest or a visitor, please be prepared to participate in that segment. And we time that segment between 1 to 2 minutes, meaning at 1 minute, don't feel pressured when you see the background change. That will mean you have 1 more minute to go. Then when the background changes to amber, that means you are on 90 seconds. Then at 2 minutes exactly, the background will change to red, meaning you have 30 seconds leeway to wrap up your table topic. And then later on, our Madam or Mr. Timekeeper will come at the end of towards the end of the meeting to give their report. I think that's it. Can I give it back to you, Madam GE, before I take over?
Thank you so much, timekeeper of the evening, Dr. Sibo. You're always very impressive with your cap switching, and thanks for filling in for timekeeper. The next on our agenda is boiled toast, which is over to you again, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. The loyal toast, maybe before we do that, I think let me invite everyone in the call before I do the loyal toast, which will take about 30 seconds, to please have a glass with you, maybe whether it's a cup of coffee or whatever. Make sure it has a liquid, whether it's water or any beverage of your choice. Then, if you do not mind, unless you are driving like our Madam Accountant, please make sure you show yourself on video so that when I do the toast, you can show your cup or your glass as well. Basically, the plea is simple. With the loyal toast, we are actually showing loyalty to our beautiful nation called South Africa. I will basically asking you to please repeat after me as I will be saying, to South Africa and her people. And then you'll repeat that and then we'll do a toast to say cheers. Simple like that. I hope everyone is ready. I hope all your glasses are charged. Now, fellow Toastmasters, please repeat after me as I propose a toast to South Africa and her people.
To South Africa and her people.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, fellow Toastmasters. Now, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start the business and the most exciting part of a Toastmasters meeting, the prepared speeches. According to my program, we have 4 speakers. I am not sure if all of them are here. I won't go through the list of participants at this point, but perhaps before I proceed, I will ask if Barbara is ready to let me start with Sipiwe, because I see Barbara is here as the evaluator. Before Barbara comes on stage to give the criteria of that speech, Sipiwe, are you in the call? Can you confirm? And also, is it possible for you to show yourself on video?
She has fallen off.
Okay, I think to save time, we'll move to our second speaker, Boitumelo. Are you ready, ma'am? Then if Sipiwe comes back, we'll move back to him.
Yes, I am.
Hey, ma'am, can you show yourself and video on the video? Okay, I see. You are ready. And then since Sipiwe is off, unfortunately, he was supposed to be your evaluator. I don't know how we should do this. Should we give him a few seconds? Because before you take the center stage, he is supposed to give the criteria for your speech so that the participants know exactly what is expected of you as you're delivering your speech.
Okay.
Right? Does anyone else, can maybe Madam PR, can you check quickly with Sipiwe if he will be joining shortly? Or what could
I've
be
just
the time?
Yes, I've just sent him a message. It hasn't gone through, but he did read his new agenda at 5:30, so I'm hoping that just a technicality and he'll be joining us.
Okay, can I ask if I saw Nzinga is here. Is Ntati also here, who is going to be the evaluator, her evaluator? Maybe we can just move from backwards. Okay, there is Sipiwe joining.
He is joining, and Ntati said he's just having a few problems logging in. We must just give him a few minutes.
Okay, okay. I think since Sipiwe is here, we are ready to join. Maybe before I call Barbara on stage, Sipiwe, can you confirm if everything is all set on your side? Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Hello, good evening, Toastmasters. I certainly can see you. I can hear you. Unfortunately, we are on load shedding. I can't put out my video. I don't know if I can be disqualified for my speech or I
No,
can go ahead.
no, ma'am, you can go ahead. It's okay. No problem with that. Because I understand load shedding is everywhere, basically, still there. I see in your information here, you from Bulawayo, I guess that's Zimbabwe, Bulawayo Diamonds. Okay, you are
Yes,
muted.
certainly. Affirmative. Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Loud and clear. All right, please don't mute at this point. We'll just we'll call your evaluator on stage to introduce you briefly before you take on the stage. All right, at this point, fellow Toastmasters, please help me to welcome on stage the evaluator for our first speaker. And our evaluator is Barbara Guerreros. I hope I pronounced that correctly. All right, ma'am. And then Barbara is going to be evaluating Sipiwe. Without further ado, Barbara, the stage is yours.
Once more, thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. It's my pleasure to evaluate Sipiwe. She's on level 2 pathways. And the speech criteria, it's introduction to Toastmaster mentoring. It's quite interesting speech. In that speech, you can have a story of your own personal experience as a mentor or protege, and you can also use a story from the Toastmasters. So the purpose of this speech is for the member to define how Toastmasters or any other experience that she have with mentoring affected her. And also the purpose is to share those aspects of the experience as a protege or a mentor. So I'm looking forward to hear a story or some examples. And yeah, that's all. One thing that I want to include, you cannot be disqualified as that there is some disabled people also on the Toastmasters who are blind and so on. So the only thing that I'll be not focusing on is your face expression, your body movement, but I will listen to the voice, the tone of your voice and pausing. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Before I welcome Sipio on stage, I would like to humbly ask Dr. Grace, if you do not mind to be our timer, seeing that our timer has not joined the meeting. Hopefully you are not that busy to take on that role. Dr. Grace.
I will take the role.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Now, fellow Toastmasters, without wasting more time, please help me to welcome on stage our first speaker, Sipiwe H. Uruba, speaking on the title, The Protege. The Protege, Sipiwe H. Uruba. Over to you.
After a series of rejections on numerous job applications that I had put, I had almost given up. One day, it to my attention. It was on a game ranch, but they needed an administrator. I knew nothing about administration, but I took the job gladly. I was to report to the head of finance, and her reputation was that she was on a warpath with anyone and anything. She was fury. The things that anyone could think of that are negative. Just on the first day, I started trembling just from hearing all the stories from the predecessors, and the impression of this lady I was to report to gave me fear to take up the job. But from series of rejections, I had to take it in. So I gladly took the role and waited patiently in the waiting room. There was chatter in the room, people with piercing, some giggling, and obviously they were talking about me. But I was not moved, but still I was in fear. From a distance, I saw a tall, fit, her poise and her walk, her posture. She gave an impression of a detector. She backed. I just started thinking and wondering, was this the person they were talking about? She approached to me, gazed into my eyes. I stood up, slowly gaining my ground. I looked at her, Sipiwe. I looked up. This is she. Pleased to meet you. My name is Claire. Please follow me. She introduced herself with a shy smile. I wasn't so sure then if I wanted to be around this woman, but I followed. He took me into an office, and later I saw that it was her office. Got straight to the point, explained to me what was expected of me on my role, and quickly told me that she had other things to mind for the day and left me with an assignment. After 3 years of working with Claire, I had morphed into, I was very proud of. All the chatters, all the impressions that people had of her, some were wondering, how are you able to work with this person? Some would say, what is it that what juju have you posed on this lady? She did not change her personality at all. But our characters, they just interconnected. Claire, I was more detail-oriented, very meticulous, and I was on my path to leadership. Without even realizing it, I had found a mentor And we have sense of a mentor and a protege. Our energies were intertwined. All the things had become a mere illusion. What I discovered about Claire was that deep down, as gentle as a grandma, she had a listening ear. She had empathy. She was a great listener. I also learned that vulnerability is not a weakness. Instead, it's a gateway to growth. As much as it was a workplace, Claire made it very possible for us to create a healthy working environment. Transformation happened, and I would like to believe that it was to both of us. About things that she wouldn't tell anyone. She would tell me of things that I know no one would judge, no one would even correct, but she had the guts to tell me, and I would take the advice gladly. It was a dance, it was a tango. Becoming a protege had been about carrying lessons and on a daily basis. I've become more intentional, whether it's leading a team on challenges. As I grow, I pay forward to the things that I learn as a protege. I also become a mentor to others, creating a ripple effect of learning and aspirations. As physics states, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but passed from one state to another. Celebrate the mentors, the silent architects of our success. And let's honor the protege, the dreamers who dare to learn. And as I stand here, I invite you to embrace mentorship, to seek guidance, to share wisdom, and to dance with beautiful tango. With these fellow Toastmasters, I would like to leave you with a quieter and a very quote from Sir Isaac Newton: if I have seen further, it is by standing on giants' shoulders. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, brilliant. Thank you so much, Sipiwe, for that speech. I'm looking forward to hear what your evaluator has to say about it. I can't comment about it at this point. We have someone who's got that job to take care of. Thank you so much. As I'm doing that, Sipiwe, I hope you are now ready. Please take a breather. Please take your time, because we need you to come back on the virtual stage again to evaluate Boitumelo. But in the meantime, before you do that, as you're taking a breather, I'll ask Boitumelo if all is set on our side for the second time. Boitumelo, can you confirm?
Toastmaster of the evening, Boitumelo is just WhatsApp to say there's network issues. Trying to log on again. Perhaps we should go into our third speaker in the meantime.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that, Madam PR. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these two or the next two speeches, they are on their last level in their respective pathways. So we'll also do the same. Please feel free as soon as any of them finish their speeches to unmute and give them a big round of applause as if they are doing their first speech, which is called Icebreaker. So I encourage that. Also, the same way we did with our previous speaker now, let's not be shy in opening our mics and giving them a big, big round of applause. Right, now I would like to confirm if Ntati, I see he's on video. If he's also audible, Ntati Mukatso, you will be evaluating our next speaker. which is going to be Nzinga Jase. Can you unmute, say, and just say anything so that I can hear if you are loud and clear, if you are audible?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. I'm here, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Apologies, in my mind, I thought it's a male, but I guess let's not go into details about that. Now, in terms of Nzinga, I think you were here earlier, and then you confirmed. Can you confirm one more time if you are ready to take on the center stage as our third speaker, next speaker?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm happy, loud and clear. All right. I see Buidumelo is just joining, but let's proceed with our third speaker. Now, fellow Toastmasters, please help me on the virtual stage help me to introduce our evaluator for our third speaker, and that is going to be Ntati Mukanso, who is going to evaluate Nzinga. Ntati, over to you, ma'am, with the criteria of Nzinga's speech. All right, were you given the evaluation form, Ntati?
Yes.
Okay, over to you, ma'am. The stage is yours.
Okay. Okay.
You are muted. I'm not sure if you are speaking.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. No. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. I'll be evaluating Nzinga Jesse. The purpose of Nzinga's speech, purpose of the project is for Nzinga to reflect on his growth during the completion of the entire path. Nzinga will be presenting a speech in level 5. The title of Nzinga's speech is Stretch and Grow. He'll be reflecting on his path, and the duration of the speech is 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay, I guess that's all from you, Madam Evaluator. Now, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, let us all be ready and be more attentive, because Nzinga is doing her final speech in her last project, meaning after the speech, she will be done with her entire pathway. So be ready to give a big clap, a big round of applause after finishing her speech. But maybe before she starts, just to ease her nerves, you can start unmuting now before she take on the stage to give her a round of applause. But of course, after I finish introducing her. Without further ado, fellow Toastmasters, please help me welcome on stage Nzinga Jase, who will be speaking to the title, Stretch and Grow. Stretch and Grow, Nzinga Jase. Over to you, ma'am.
An African proverb says, wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one person can embrace it. Fellow Toastmasters, this warm welcome helps me reinforce why I always think of that, and why I had that proverb in mind when I selected the innovative planning path. I was always the quietest voice in the room. I was always the person who worked mostly individually to achieve my goals. I felt awkward. I was shy. I was introvert. You would be surprised if I tell you that I'm a lawyer. And I loved being in court. But that was a professional stage. Those were professional and technical communications. I was comfortable there. Take me to a party, ask me to say a few words, lead a toast, talk about myself, introduce myself, and I would be shy. I would retreat to a corner. My role, my professional role, after I moved away from the advocacy and went into the corporate world, required a different communication style, required engagement with individuals across the company. I had to do something. I thought, Zinga, remember the African proverb, you cannot hug a baobab tree on your own. I needed some techniques, and I went forward for the innovative planning path. You know, with Toastmasters sometimes, first you say yes, and then you figure out. I did the self-assessment, and I knew I would have the tools to be successful in planning and influencing others, at least to gain some techniques and improve in my profession. That was my first goal. Little I knew that beyond Toastmasters, I would also benefit from the growth from that path. I had to stretch myself several times. The first project, the icebreaker, makes you consider what aspects of your personal life you want to share with others. My first challenge was the icebreaker. I did it, and it took me, I don't know how many months, but many months to deliver my second speech. I was comfortable performing the small roles. I was a timer, I was a accountant, I was a grammarian, I was a speech evaluator. But delivering speeches was still my Achilles heel. I moved forward. My VPE was pushing me. And I went and I moved forward. It took me 2 years to complete 2 levels. And guess what? In the last 12 months, I'm completing 3 levels. Why? Because once I immersed myself into this path, I realized I could only benefit of it. In my professional life, I decided I want to take a challenge and move from the legal team into the internal audit team. By then, I had the confidence, after completing the second level, I had gained the confidence to raise my hand and say, I saw this role, I would like to be interviewed for it. I had to read and learn about internal audit, but I got the role. Brilliant. What do auditors do? Manage teams of people that don't report to them. Then I said, Toastmasters has the tools. Develop a plan, engage teams, follow up, monitor, praise, recognize success, identifies challenges. It's all there. It helped me a great deal. Beyond that, like today, I travel a lot. I enjoy traveling, I must say. I travel a lot because of Toastmasters. In 2023, I went to Victoria Falls for the district's conference. I had dreamed about Victoria Falls for many years, but Toastmasters took me there. 2024, I went to Johannesburg. This time I was not just an observer, I was the Angolan flag carrier. And you know what? As club president. Last year, I prepared for the elections. I had my speech ready to run for vice president education. Guess what? I was nominated president. First, I wondered, ooh, why not? I accepted and I was elected. This year, I was nominated as area director. You know what my response was when I received the invitation? Hell yes! I didn't have a second thought because in Toastmasters, there is the support, there are the tools, the network, there's always somebody there to help you. I learned to read along with the coach. I see the coach here. It's something that I introduced in my life. The table topic speeches made me a more effective speaker in my family, with my friends. The benefits of following this path are innumerous and helped me gain the confidence too, as Ian Brath, the table topics champion for District 74, would say, if you don't give it a go, you will never know. I know it's a poor impression, but it's something that resonates with me. Putting myself out there, out here in this club, which is, I think, the first time I'm visiting, was something that I wouldn't do when I started this path. I wouldn't, because I didn't have the confidence. I'm not a native English speaker. So I'm always conscious about how will my message will come across. And I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the opportunity to receive the warm welcome you just gave me. I still have a lot to do and a lot to grow. I will start a new path. I will start mentoring the newest member of my club. I'm pushing my boss to give me more responsibilities and to be part of meetings with more senior people, to present in those meetings. I'm pushing and I'm challenging myself. While I'm doing that, I want to also contribute to the Toastmasters community. It's not just about me. It's about giving back to the program that has given so much to me. I am happy to say that my club is a distinguished club. It's not the president's distinguished, but a selected distinguished club this year. This is how far we got. We grew. We have 3 more members. It's not perfect, but I'm okay with it now. And as a perfectionist, I also learned to celebrate the achievements and the efforts, and even if sometimes If it's not perfect, as long as we're present and we do the best we can, we should celebrate that and continue to work for, how can I say, better accomplishments. What I would share with you, what I would like you to remember me from were my learnings. I understood, I accept that I can be strong, but not rude, not lawyerish all the time. Be kind, but not weak. Be humble, but not timid. And be proud, but not arrogant. Thank you so much, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Madam President. We appreciate your story, very inspiring. Right, I'm sure everyone, even if they were not showing themselves on the video, they were so drawn into your speech and smiling and inspired by your journey. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to hear what your evaluator has to say about your journey. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move swiftly along with our program. We'll move back to our second speaker in the program, and that is Boitumelo Mukhatingwane. I'm sure Sipiwe now is ready to deliver or maybe to give the criteria for Boitumelo after that short break. Okay, right. Over to you, Sipiwe. Are you ready? Can you confirm? Do you have the speech criteria, the evaluation form and all? Madam PR, is Sipiwe
Yes, can you hear me?
loud and clear? Go ahead, ma'am.
I'm having slight challenges with my phone. My speaker just keeps switching. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. Please forgive me. Boitumelo, are you in the room?
But I'm also struggling with my network. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I want to switch off my video because I don't know what's happening with my Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's okay.
That's all right. That's okay. Boitumelo, a lovely evening to you. Okay, Boitumelo is on level 2. And on her bio, she is a President Club. Communication. Sorry, she's on level 3, Project 1. Her speech title is Creating a Culture of Psychological Safety at Work. And the purpose of her project is to deliver a well-organized speech about her experience with some aspects of plan development, and she may choose to share any part of the process, including the results of implementing the plan. If the plan was implemented, the speech should be not a report about the development of communication plans project. So her speech is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. And I would like you to have a ball, Boitumelo. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Sipiwe. Fellow Toastmasters, without further ado, let us welcome Boitumelo Mukhatingwane on stage, speaking to the title, Creating a Culture of Psychological Safety at Work. Creating a Culture of Psychological Safety at Work, Boitumelo Mukhatingwane.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take you on my personal journey. a journey that led to transformation, not only in my professional environment, but also a perspective on what it means to me to feel safe at work. A few years ago during COVID, I was part of a team where communication was functional, but there was something, it lacked depth. We did all what every team's supposed to do. We met all our deadlines, we achieved our targets, but something was amiss. If I were to say to you, there was something like that felt like there was an underlying tension, a hesitation to speak up. People could not share their ideas freely, and people had hard time admitting their mistakes. That resulted into an atmosphere where creativity and growth was stifled. I must say the turning point for me was when one of the team members came to me and said that they have this innovative idea. Since it was COVID and people were working from home, when you use laptops, you need to have your patches installed in your laptop. She came up with an idea that how about we have a drive-through for laptops to be repatched or to reinstallation patches. It was a brilliant idea, but I couldn't understand why was she fearing to voice out her idea. As I thought about it, the impression that it gave me is that people do not feel safe at work to express myself. And this really struck a chord. And I said, if one person could really feel this way, others probably feel the same way. It was so clear to me that our team lacked psychological safety. And where there's no psychological safety, it means there is psychological danger. What do I mean by psychological safety? An environment that has psychological safetiness in it, it means everybody is thriving and everybody is able to be innovative without feeling any fear. And they are free to express themselves. While I was inspired by this realization, I realized that I need to develop a communication plan. A communication plan that will focus on nurturing psychological safety in my workspace. And my plan had 3 components. Firstly, it was an open dialogue forum. Secondly, anonymous feedback channel. Lastly, it was leadership training. Let me expand on these components. By open dialogue, we encourage people to have informal meetings where there are no recordings, where people could share ideas, and also managers were encouraged to have one-on-one and have coffee with the reportees or direct reports. Of course, observing social distancing since it was COVID. Then moving on to the second component, there was anonymous feedback channel. We use Menti. I don't know if you are aware of what a web application called Menti, which allows people to do surveys or to express their ideas without writing their names or anonymously. That was the channel that was used for people to make sure that their voice were heard. The last one was leadership training. This training was important for managers. They had to recognize their own biases. They had to learn to improve on their listening skills. They had to also learn to be more empathetic and also have supportive leadership style. As we continue with this plan, It wasn't without challenges. There was skepticism from the management, also from the team players. We all know that change is always met with resistance, and this was no different. Some team members were even hesitating to participate, fearing that their performance scores might be reduced, and worrying that if they express their ideas, some team members would take that information to their favorite managers. However, we had to persist and also be, consistent with what we are doing. In that process, we were able to build trust. We were able to even get feedback, raw feedback in the mentee space. In the mentee space, that is the web application that I was talking about. People talked about what they desired to see in their environment. As for leadership, they started modeling their own desired behavior. They started also showing vulnerability. They even shared what are their challenges at the top. We all know that fish rots from the head. So once the leaders are able to express themselves and be able to be vulnerable, that also allowed team members to share what their challenges at the ground level. I must say, ladies and gentlemen, over time, these results yielded desired results. Our team dynamics shifted significantly. People started to talk freely. People started collaborating. People started enjoying teamwork because they knew that they could learn from others. Most importantly, people felt that they were valued and respected. They were more willing to share their innovative ideas and take risks and know that even if they fail, they'll be learning from there. As I conclude, I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, psychological safety is not just a luxury. It is a necessity in our work environment. When we are working in an environment where people can speak up freely, express their ideas, we will be unlocking the full potential of our team members. It's a journey that I encourage that you should embark on, and the results will speak for themselves. Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go.
Much appreciated.
Woohoo.
Right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience for staying with us until this far. I see we're a little bit behind schedule and I won't prolong the program anymore. Without further delays, I'll move to our next and final speaker of the evening. I hope Ntati is ready and the evaluator Nzinga are both ready to step on the podium. Let's start with the speaker just to confirm one more time, Tati. Okay, I see you and you're unmuted. Maybe let's now allow Nzinga Jase to take on the virtual stage to give the criteria for your speech. Nzinga, over to you.
Thank you, fellow Toastmaster of the day. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply the skills needed to successfully lead in a volunteer organization. With this speech, the purpose is to share some aspect of the experience serving as a leader in a volunteer organization. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Nzinga. And now, fellow Toastmasters, please help me welcome on stage Ntati Mukanso, speaking to the title, The Centenarian. The Centenarian, Ntati Mukanso. Over to you, Ntati.
It was in July 2023 when I initiated an alumni organization of former Maluti College students. The objective of the organization is to intervene and plow back to the community of Maluti and the surrounding towns through socio-economic interventions. Fellow Toastmasters, picture yourself as a centenarian. I challenge you to close your eyes. Imagine generations that come after you addressing you and celebrating your life. What do they say to you? What do they say about you? Fellow Toastmasters, in this pathway, I learned leadership skills, communication skills, organizational skills, emotional intelligence, problem solving, collaboration, passion and empathy, risk management, and strategic thinking. I will lift only 3 of these. I have a task for you. As I narrate the story, identify which of these I'm referring to. As I've already indicated that the objective is to plow back. An idea came out that we need to pay a visit to our centenarian, a former teacher of English. Immediately in January 2024, we put the project in place. I established a team of 3. From time to time, we communicated the progress. From time to time, we communicated the plan, the invitations, and the consultations with family and other stakeholders. Fellow Toastmasters, this was our first project. First thing that we did was to present the project plan to the entire team. They clapped their hands. We were happy. There was no indication of a budget or money that the members of the alumni should pay. They volunteered to pledge money to facilitate the project. What we presented with, one was a plaque with an inscription and a medal, which showed our appreciation as his former students. What was interesting was that Vice was, and we will call him Vice, was a no-nonsense man. But he appreciated the gesture that we wanted to present and acknowledge him. I want to show you the evidence of what we did. This is the plaque. It may not be very clear in the background behind me. This is the plaque that we prepared and presented to Vice because of the lessons that I have learned through this project in Toastmasters, or this pathway. On the day of the event, many people came. Others were phoning, requesting to know if they were allowed, they may attend this event. Everyone was welcome because It was not an event that was meant to ask people to pay the entrance fee. When you look in my background, or at my background, here is Vice. Vice is robed with an academic ground of one of these former students, Dr. Libuya, who was the keynote address, the product of Vice. It was the 27th of January that the event was held. You won't believe when I tell you that the keynote speaker got an instruction from me that you only speak for 10 minutes because Vice is 102 years old. The irony is that Vice spoke for 2 hours, narrating the story of his life. I'll tell you the story of his life in another meeting. But the resilience that was demonstrated by Vice. However, after the 27th, Vice passed on in April. May his soul rest in peace. Fellow Toastmasters, Toastmasters is a school. It is a training institution that produces leaders, formidable leaders, strategic leaders, leaders who are also servants. Let us keep on advocating for Toastmasters. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
You are all welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to unmute and give a big round of applause as well as the other previous speakers. Let's combine them.
Well done.
Well
Thank you so
done.
much.
Well done. Mm.
What an inspiring meeting, fellow Toastmasters. I'm glad at the end of the day, all the speakers came to the virtual stage and delivered their speeches as planned. That is very inspiring. I'm also looking forward to hear more from the evaluators, what they have to say, because I learned a lot from each and every one of them. I have a very quick request, seeing that as the Toastmaster of the evening, that we're a little bit behind schedule by now. We're supposed to be already into the table topics. If you look at your program on item number 12, 11, in fact, we are supposed to take a 10-minute recess break. At Toastmasters, we are very, very strict in terms of time management. So I would like to make the suggestion, let us skip those 10 minutes recess. The reason for the 10 minutes recess is to give enough time for the evaluators to put together their notes so that when it's their time to come on the virtual stage to deliver their evaluation or feedback, they've organized everything together. But I believe since our next item is the table topics, they can use that table topics session to finish off their notes, especially with the evaluator of the last speaker. Now, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, before I welcome our table topics mistress, I would like to point the fact that in this club, we are basically very proud to be always welcoming visitors from different parts of the Southern Africa. That is now not only District 74, but that includes District 79. So during that recess, usually network. By networking, meaning I would love to know each other better, the visitors and the guests. So the only plea, since we're skipping that part or the networking part or the research part, I would like each and every one on the call, at least please tell us, because your name is already there, just the name of your club, then the city you are based now, as well as the country where you are based, because I understand you also have Angola is in the house, Zimbabwe is in the house from the last speaker. I'm also assuming seeing Maluti College, also Lesotho is in the house. So if all of us can do that while we are preparing for the table topics, it would be great so that we know how many countries are in the room at this point. Without further delays, fellow Toastmasters, please help me welcome on stage our Toastmaster, in fact, Table Topics Master of the Evening, Sibongile Mtsweni.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, guests and visitors. Now, this is a session that I really, really love, and I hope we are all going to have fun. Basically, I would like to have everybody participate, and let's have fun. As we always say, if it's not fun, then it is justice. Now, I have with me, let me see if when I share, it will work this time around. Dr. Sibu, please tell me if you can see my share. Where am I? There you go. And I'm share a window.
I'm sure something is coming very soon.
Can you see anything?
It says you have started sharing screen, but the screen, okay, there it is. We can see a dog looking at us very curiously.
And you can hear me, right?
Loud and
Can you
clear.
hear me?
Loud
Yes,
and
we can
clear,
hear you.
yes.
Awesome. So I'm going to stop sharing just for a minute to explain that visionary readers, as our president, Dr. Sibongiseni, had said in his opening and welcoming, we are a reading club. So tonight, with our table topics, I would like us to write our story for tonight, basically. So I would like to have volunteers, please. Can I have 5 hands so we don't waste time? And to remind everybody that you've got 1 to 2 minutes. Please don't speak less than 1 minute and don't speak over 2 minutes. Madam Timer, you are welcome to stop anyone that goes above 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So can I please have 5 volunteers? I'm waiting for the hands. I've got, I see Bruce. I can't pronounce the first name that starts with an S. I don't want to butcher your name. So I've got Bruce as number 1. Who else? I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, I'm going to start picking and choosing. 5.
There's Brian also.
4. Oh, okay. Dr. Sibo is number 2.
No, I said Brian. He
Oh,
raised
is it
his
Brian?
Brian, yes.
All right. I've got Bruce. I've got Brian. And then I'm going to start choosing. Can I have Ntati as my 3rd person? Bruce, Brian,
I think
Ntati,
I
can you
also
agree?
saw N, if I'm not mistaken. Mistaken.
N. Yes, I was going to call N as number 4. And I just need one last one.
Maybe I can take the last one.
All right. So I'm going to project images. And basically what you need to do is start telling us anything that comes to mind. So it can be a story or whatever it is that comes to mind when you see the picture. So the first picture is going to go to the first person, that is Bruce. I'm sharing. And once Bruce is done talking, the 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, and then I will hand over to the second person, that is Brian, and I will show your image, and you have to continue the story from where Bruce left. So, Bruce, here's your picture. Starting now, you have 1 to 2 minutes. You can go.
Sorry, I can't see any pictures. Should I just talk about the dog?
Yes, that's the dog.
So once upon a time, not so long ago, there was a little puppy who grew up on the streets, was found in a gutter, lying there with his siblings, couldn't see, could smell, but couldn't do a whole lot more than that. And he was rescued and taken to a wonderful rescue home called Superwolf, where they raise hero dogs and find homes for them. And this little dog was hanging out in a shelter, I suppose, that they set up on the Seapoint Promenade down in Cape Town, where passers-by could have a look, pet the dogs, walk the dogs. And there I was, walking down the prom, enjoying the sun, enjoying the ocean. And there was this tiny little puppy asleep in the sun. He totally stole my heart. And all the other dogs were crazy. They were barking and biting and running and jumping. And this little guy was just snoozing away. It was the cutest thing I'd ever seen. He stole my heart. It was done. I spoke to my partner. He didn't have a choice. The dog came home with me. Turns out he wasn't a sleepy puppy. He was just really sick. And we nursed him back to health. And he was just as crazy as all the other dogs. and has brought so much joy into my life. And every time we leave the house and take our little dog to visit our friends or family, interesting things happen. And at that point, I'll hand over to the next speaker.
Thank you so much, Bruce. I love the impressions in your topic. Now, that's the second picture for Brian. You have to continue where Bruce left off.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. I am not sure whether everyone can see the picture. I'm not seeing a
Dr. Sibu, can you confirm that you can see the picture?
No, it's not showing you.
Oh. This is going to... All right, let me do it this way. Can you see the picture now?
Not yet.
All right, let me stop sharing and share again.
Yeah, maybe you can just keep it showing now. You can just keep the slide. Don't stop sharing. Please keep it that way. And then you can see the next picture already. Thanks.
All right. There we go. That's the next picture.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. So one day, when Bruce was going to work, the dog, in this instance, let's nickname the dog Wanderlust, decided to take up his name and go around the world, go to all the neighbors and say hi, and thought that she would be back by the time Bruce is back, so that she would be able to know, oh yeah, I saw the world and came back. Little did she know the journey that was up ahead. So Bruce took up his backpack, her backpack, put up some water, started trekking. Little by little, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours went by. He's moving away from the city. The mountains are now starting to be more visible. Slowly by slowly, he saw a truck that was running down one of the hills. So Wanderlust decided, hey, I might actually just ride down, go to the river. That river probably will take me back home. And I will be able to be back before my caretaker, Bruce, is back home. Wanderlust quickly ran. Little did she know that this river, oh my goodness, this river was not going back home. This river was going somewhere else. And at this point, I will hand it over to my son, Speaker.
Thank you so much. And the story gets more interesting. Can you see the third picture?
A door.
Still see the
Yes, a
mountain.
red door. All right, go ahead. Third speaker.
I only see the mountain. Must I continue with the mountain?
No, you can't see the next picture. Oh,
The red door.
okay, let me try again. This is gonna eat up our time. Let me try again. Apologies. There we go. Come on, check. Can you see the picture now?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Wanderlust was so hungry, so thirsty, and was panting as he was running down the mountain towards the river and moved to the opposite direction to the flow of the river. At the banks of the mountain, at the banks of the river, Wanderlust held herself or himself to the water. Thereafter, he took again. He ran and ran and ran towards home until on his way, he saw a building with a red door. Because he was very hungry, he went towards the door and he smelled the aroma of food. But Wanderlust was already trained to eat specific food for dogs. But on that day, an old man came out of this door and gave some food to Wanderlust. After eating, Wanderlust, because he's a wanderer, he found a new home for some days. When Bruce came back from life, Wanderlust was not there. Bruce was so heartbroken. She advertised, issued out notices. Have you seen the black dog with big ears? Back to you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing and just do this again so that I don't waste time. And then we call upon our fourth speaker. The story is going to be a bestseller. I can see it already. Okay, that is your picture. Fourth speaker.
And are you ready?
Okay, right. So that very night, Bruce and her husband were to go to the airport because they had booked a trip to Dubai. And so our special dog, Wanderlust, followed them, followed the taxi that they took to the airport. Once arriving at the airport, he found his way into the belly of the plane because there was quite a bit of food in there. So again, he followed his nose and the nose led him to be a stowaway in the belly of the plane that was going straight to Dubai. He had to hold on to the metal side of the wheels, not to fly out of the bonnet. But he held on and held on and held on. And finally, the plane landed in Dubai. There he trot along the beachside and found his way into an elevator to go and view the whole of the city, which was an amazing experience. On the landing of a drone on top of one of the highest buildings of Dubai, he jumped onto the drone and was taken away to his next destination. Over to the next speaker.
Thank you so much. And I like how the dog is now found. Miraculously so. I tell you, this is our bestseller, ladies and gentlemen. Now to the last picture for our last speaker, that is Dr. Sibu, as we close our 10-minute book that we are writing and authoring here at Visionary Readers, which will be published, ladies and gentlemen, in the next 6 months.
There comes Wanderlust again. Upon her odyssey, her long and adventurous journey, seeing himself in Dubai, he thought, there are two kinds of personalities. Those ones who appreciate a city from afar, and those ones who prefer to go inside the city and into the building and check all the details inside that building. But Wanderlust, because he was adventurous, he did both. As you've just seen with Anne, he saw the bigger picture, the whole city. Now, upon finishing that observation, Wanderlust decided to zoom into the building in one of the tall buildings in Dubai. And guess what? He picked the best ever building where only luxury and opulence could define what you could find in Dubai. And guess what? This owner of the building was very wealthy, and he had all different kinds of beautiful fish. Some are called koi fish, but this particular one, yellow in color, drew Wanderlust's attention. And he came closer because Wanderlust's favorite color was yellow. And you know why? Because yellow to Wanderlust represented happiness. And ladies and gentlemen, this story from the beginning, it tells us that if you are adventurous by nature, that's where happiness lies. You might be curious from the get-go, but even if you are uncertain about where you'd love to be, just take that first step. You might see nature, beautiful nature. You might see man-made beauty, which is tall buildings, but eventually you will see that yellow color, which represent happiness. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Well done, everyone. Well done. So let me tell you what the story was when I was putting the pictures together. I thought there's a saying in isiZulu that says induku enhle ikhiwa ezizweni. Directly translated, I would say a beautiful flower gets picked in foreign lands. So when I put the pictures together, I thought this is a journey of finding love, not just in a place where you are familiar with, where you know the people and the people are like you, they think like you, they behave like you, but journeying to foreign lands and finding something that is peculiar and different. And yet you might not really be able to be together, but the love will always draw you together. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. My session ends here, and I will make sure that I credit every speaker in the book. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters, can you all unmute and give Sibongile a big round of applause for that well-thought table topic? Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Sangile.
Thank you so much once again. Fellow Toastmasters, now it's 7:30, meaning we have 30 minutes more to go. And without further delays, let us move swiftly to the evaluations. And our first evaluator, hopefully she's ready. Barbara Gieros, can you confirm if you're still with us?
Yes, I am here, Mr.
All right.
Toastmaster.
All right, ma'am. Let me not waste more time. The stage is yours. You may start.
Thank you so much. Toastmaster Sipiwe, I must say, languages is not my thing, but you exceeded beyond with your speech. Let me start what I love about your speech. And this is what I love about people that are so good with languages. Your story was compiling. You started with something interesting, grabbing. You start with the rejection. So you got my attention. The whole story was full of example. And I really started to count and write down what figures of speech that you use. You use not only metaphor and simile, but you also use metaphors and some other that I cannot, I wrote it somewhere there. So you use quite a lot. You were saying of the series of rejection, walking in the room in the sense of fear. There was a lot of beautiful story, easy to follow, easy to understand. I love your pause. I love your pronunciation. You were really, I love the speech. The thing that I also love, that you end with something that I'm an architect, IT architect, but you said, let us celebrate the architects, our mentors. Let us celebrate our mentors, the architects of our protege. Such a beautiful, beautiful explanation. And this, I don't know all this figure of speech, but yeah, you use it. And also you use 3 times the word of the today, impressions. So your listening skills is phenomenal. Something else that I can add on to you, what you can work on. I could sense, even though the speech is so compelling and the story is beautiful, I would say practice, practice, practice. And share the speech again with other fellow Toastmasters in another clubs. What I also would do, you end up the speech with a quote. In my personal opinion, the last quote was not necessary. You could put the quote at the beginning or somewhere, but this celebrate our mentors was for me brilliant. The last quote was not necessary. That's my personal opinion. And challenge yourself. Like I said, please repeat that speech to other clubs, visit other clubs members, and share the story how not to be scared of rejection and take the courage like you did and like you learn from the standing on the giants. You can see the beauty of courage. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Barbara. Fellow Toastmasters, you can unmute and give a quick round of applause for that beautiful feedback.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Now let's move along to our second evaluator, Sipiwe, who was evaluating Buidumelo. Over to you, Sipiwe. You are muted. Oh, there you go.
Thank you. Toastmaster Poitumelo, you took us through a journey of a period that not so many people want to go back into, COVID. Your speech was amusing. It was practical. It was of instances that are happening currently. And I think even on the comments, there's someone who's going through that situation at work. Psychological safety nets are very critical. And your presentation or your project, how you explained it, you know, the failure to express oneself at work, or even a group of people failing to express themselves, it leads to a lot of malfunctions in a workplace. So your ability to structure the speech in such a way that we actually see the turmoil that you, your colleagues, and other people at work were going through, up to coming up with innovative ways on how to articulate the problem that was at hand. You know, the components that you spoke of, open dialogue, the anonymous feedback channels that you created. You gave us an example of a mentee web channel. I actually learned a lot. So I would like to give you kudos to that. I would also like to commend you on, I think, on your finishing. We could have been graced with some quotes. The topic that you chose had so many opportunities to put in a bit of quotes on psychological safety nets. You could have put one or two. Otherwise, I really look forward to your next speech. Well done, Toastmaster Boitumelo. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Sipiwe. Once again, fellow Toastmasters, you can unmute and give her a big round of applause for that beautiful feedback. Right, and moving right along, we are now moving to our third evaluator, Ntati, who was evaluating Nzinga. Ntati, over to you, ma'am.
Congratulations, Nzinga, for a well-prepared speech on your personal story. You have indeed achieved the objective of the speech. And also congratulations to you for completing your level. My evaluation is having 3 pillars or 3 legs. What I saw, what I heard, and how I felt. I saw a happy area director who smiled when she narrated the story of her success, using hand gestures. What I heard when I heard you referring to wisdom is like a ball battery. That's something new that I learned from you. If you don't give it a go, you will never know. Be proud, be humble, but not proud. Be humble, but not be proud, but not arrogant. Those are very, very powerful expressions used by Nzinga. I felt in awe to hear that you want to take the baton and mentor others, as well as the fact that you recognize your mentor. You may work on the effective use of your speaking space, movement, vocal variety, and signposting. I would recommend that you consider standing up when delivering a public speech and also not looking at your notes more often. This will enhance your vocal projection, and more movements and better use of speaking space. Back to you, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to 10 tables, but you can unmute and also give Tati a big round of applause. Now we're going to 10 tables. And Tati, if you don't mind, please show yourself on video, because now we're turning the tables. Nzinga is going to evaluate you. So still leave those two screens there to show the both of you as you're evaluating each other. Nzinga, over to you, ma'am.
Tati, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Correct.
Because I loved your speech. I loved how confident you looked and sounded while delivering your speech. I really loved the energy. You were talking about a volunteer project that you are clearly passionate about. And that was the energy throughout the speech. I really loved that. It was very effective, the way you engaged the audience with questions. When you say, picture yourself, you take us to an immersive experience of the story you are telling us about. I would suggest the following. When using backgrounds, try to select images or position yourself in a way that won't distract the audience, because there were some words in a picture. I was trying to read it, trying to see behind you, and that can be a bit distracting. At least it was for me. And also, you are very expressive. Your face, your eyes are very expressive. Tune it up a little bit when conveying a sad message. For instance, when you talked about the vice speaking for 2 hours and then unfortunately passed away, your expression didn't change as much, and you had there an opportunity to emphasize your speech with your face, with your eyes, with your shoulders. You could have done that. Otherwise, you are a proficient speaker already. Well done. Keep going. Continue to engage the audience in such an enthusiastic way. Consider the background you're using, and looking forward to seeing completing your path. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Brilliant, brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now all unmute and give a big round of applause to all our evaluators this evening. Please help me do that. Thanks so much, and congratulations to all of you for those beautiful feedbacks, as well as those beautiful speeches as well. We are so grateful for your presence this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's move further along with our program, seeing that time is slowly approaching the end. At this point, according to our program, we are on item number 15, and that is basically the R counter report. Anamfubu, I'm sure you are ready on your side. Please take it away and please make sure at least you don't exceed the 2-minute mark so that we finish on time. Over to you, Madam Accountant.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. My sincere apology. I could not hear all the speeches because of the network issue. I've been traveling and I'm still traveling now. However, I was able to listen to Spiwe's speech. There was 0 filler word. However, when she was evaluating, she had 2 filler words. Nzinga, it was 0. Witimelo, I could hear 4 filler words. And the rest I could not hear other speeches. My apology about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Grammarian. A big round of, Madam Accountant, a big round of applause to you as well. In the interest of time, fellow Toastmasters, at this point, I'm going to call our next role player that is going to be a grammarian. And then instead of coming to the virtual stage again after she finished, I would like to invite the general evaluator to come and then deliver her evaluation. And then finally, the timekeeper. I will come after the timekeeper's report. And then I hope that instruction and expression or impression is clear. Hope I scored myself some points there on last minute. Without further delays, Madam Grammarian, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. I'd just like to point out, grammarian, it is a challenging role, but the one that I don't prefer, it's accountant. But today I want to share with you a very interesting point of view from somebody who is not linguistic. I really listen to exceptional use of language, like I did hear from all of your speeches. And I don't want to mention that it was not only CPWA that I evaluated, but all of you use beautiful use of language and a lot of figure of speech. But I want to point something which I really found it interesting. When Toastmaster Nzinga was speaking, and please don't take it personally, it was amazing, interesting speech. But Toastmaster Nzinga used a lot of I. And I think on that note, I would really recommend that changing from I to some other verses. I have a dream. The dream, maybe you can say the dream of mine. So it was a lot of I. Now, what I want to say on that note, I somehow, I don't know why, I compared that speech to Toastmaster Ntati. Now, this Toastmaster, she was for me so beautiful because she used fellow Toastmasters and she used the royal we. She didn't use I, she used we and we. So it was beautiful. So I just want to suggest Toastmaster Nzinga that you, I see this meeting is recorded, that you listen to the speech of Nati and you can see how she used the we instead of the I. So that's my recommendation for today. And that's my beautiful people and fellow Toastmasters, grammarian, rapport with a twist. With a twist. Over to you, fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Grammarian. Madam General Evaluator, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. Sorry, I've gone a bit quick. Excuse me. So without further ado, I'm happy to deliver my report. I've divided into 2 sections, time and then evaluation of role players, and I'll try to keep it as succinct as possible. Time, we started 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock sharp, which is very impressive. We started with 9 participants and we ended with 13 thus far. Time for introduction of our speeches and the speech evaluators. We were 3 minutes late at the start and we ran 12 minutes late. Our table topic started 9 minutes late, despite us cutting back on our 10-minute recession or recession cut. And we went 10 minutes over the allotted time. And we ended up with a 20-minute story with our table topics, which is a double volume book. And I am down for the waiting list. So I'm waiting for what, and I hope it's audio too. Our evaluators was a royal 13 minutes. We were a mere 3 minutes over the time, the allotted time. So we did quite well. Evaluation of our role players that do not have formal evaluations. Our initial role players, the first three, grammarian, archanta, and table topics, succinctly presented the explanation or the roles. Word of the day was expressed, was on the chat box. Even our grammarian had the word of the day behind her with examples. That was perfection and very impressive. Moving along, our timer was not available and our Toastmaster immediately swapped the caps, and that was very well done. I commend you, sir. Going on to our table topics master, much thought was given to her role this evening. Kudos to Sibongile Mchweni, who gave an impressive presentation and embroiled our storytelling Toastmasters and our reading love, which is what visionary readers is all about. So that was very well done. Our Toastmaster of the evening was very welcoming, and he's accomplished his role with seamless presentation skills. We're very impressed with Dr. Simongizeli Mugolozeli. So well done to you, sir. I apologize, I always stumble on your surname. Recommendations for future improvement, logging in 15 minutes before the time would be ideal. I know it's difficult for a lot of us, and when there's load shedding and driving, it is very, very almost impossible at times. But it's always good, for example, to test your sharing of the screens, to sort out any of those gremlins with the camera and the audio. That would be very advisable to do. Also, examining your program beforehand, again, it's very good to do this, especially if there's been changes, like we did have 2 agendas. We had the first one, and then about an hour later, we actually had amendments and we sent that through. Very important to keep an eye out on your WhatsApps, just to find out if there's been any changes, and of course to familiarize ourselves with the evening's procedure. So that is my evaluation all round. It was a very good meeting, successful. I think time-wise, we almost on par, and well done to everyone. Thank you so much, and over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. And then now it's time for the timekeeper's report. Over to you, Dr. Grace.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'll start with our speakers. Our first speaker delivered her speech within time. It was 7 minutes, 17 seconds. Our second speaker, Toastmaster Nzinga, also delivered her speech within time. Our third speaker, Toastmaster.
Can I make a suggestion, Doc? I think
Melo, her speech was way above time. She delivered her speech within 8 minutes, 10 seconds.
Am I the only one, or Dr. Grace is not audible?
No, I also can't hear.
Okay.
Our last speaker,
Madam Timer, is it okay for you if you can try by switching off?
It seems let me switch off. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Is it okay if we can just start from the beginning with no video, and just want to see if we'll be able to hear you? We missed some of the times.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can
Yes,
you hear
ma'am.
me?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I will type if you don't hear me.
Okay, it seems like there are still challenges. Maybe you can type.
Can
That
you
should.
hear me?
We're still struggling. You can type, Doc. It's okay. Because we are breaking a lot. Your network bandwidth is very low. I hope everyone will be happy with that. So in the next 5 minutes as we close, hopefully she will be able to type that in details. Maybe you can use the initials to save time and then type on the chat box.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Fellow Toastmasters, I think at this point it's time for me to do the announcements. We always respect each and everyone's
Yes,
time.
it is very low.
Yes, ma'am, you can type. I hope you got the instruction. I am doing the announcements now. It's okay. You can type the timers, use the initials, then give their times. I think they will appreciate it. Basically, I only have 3 announcements before it's exactly 8 p.m. before we can disembark or adjourn the meeting. First and foremost, we appreciate your presence here, fellow visitors and guests. If we have any guests, we always appreciate visitors in this club. Please also ensure that in your club you invite us if that's possible. Maybe you can connect with Madam PR, then let us know about the times your respective clubs are meeting and the dates. And then we'll be able to join depending on our availability. Secondly, our next meeting is on the 12th of July. That will be in the new Toastmasters year. So we meet every second and fourth Friday of the month. So I guess that's the best way to remember in case you wanna visit us again in the near future. The theme of today's meeting, fellow Toastmasters, was reflections and celebrations. Since this is our last meeting of the 2023-2024 Toastmasters year. And we're proud to say, despite being a 1-year-old club, a new kid in the block, we have managed to get the status of not select, but President Distinguished Club. So you are welcome. You can unmute and give us a big round of applause for encouragement. We appreciate it. Our target. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. So we're looking to build on what we have started already in our first year by growing even more. So if you're a guest and would love to join the club, you are also welcome. We'll give you details. Please connect with our Madam PR, Anna Costa, for more details on how to join the club. She's here waving already. We appreciate you, Madam PR, for making all the visits possible. I'm sure most, or if not all, of the visitors today were invited by you. We appreciate that. The other announcement I wanted to make is we, as this Toastmasters Club, we started as an online book club. I'll be very quick with that. It also has the same name, Visionary Readers Book Club. So with the book club, it's free. If any of you visitors would love to know more about how we do things and why we believe in reading, in the reading culture, and our main mission, which is to promote the reading culture within the African continent and beyond, you are more than welcome to ask more details to Madam PR. Then she's also the admin in that WhatsApp group. She will add you there. We have book reviews this coming Sunday. We meet between 6 and 7 p.m. 1 hour, about 4 to 5 book reviews each, given 5 minutes. Perhaps in the near future, you'll be inspired to also review your favorite book. That's the last announcement I wanted to make. It's now 1959. I am done with the announcement. Fellow Toastmasters, let me thank you one more time for gracing us with your presence. We appreciate you. And until we see you next time, please enjoy the rest of the evening as well as the rest of this weekend. We appreciate you and good evening. Till we see you next time.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe there's a hand to say something. Oh, okay, I forgot. we suppose, okay, before you leave, please show yourself on video. We usually take photos for PR purposes to advertise on Facebook and different social media platforms. So now I see only 50% of us have shown themselves on videos. I have taken the first selfie. If Buitumelo, you don't mind, and Dr. Grace, please, for now, since you don't have to talk, the network won't be disrupted. Okay, I need Buitumelo and Dr. Grace one more. And Sipiwe, if you don't mind, ma'am. And also, you can give us a beautiful smile. I've taken one more photo already. All right. Okay, we'll excuse them. Thank you so much. I'm done with the selfie. Ladies and gentlemen, you can enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye. Till we meet again.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye-bye.